On the detractors of our revolution, comrades and colleagues, every revolution has detractors, and we should not be scared and intimidated by detractors. In our revolution, detractors include those sowing divisions so that our movement will not unite at the helm of those who have re-evoked tribalism in our society. We have witnessed the detractors such as the MK Party, led by a man who almost collapsed our state, resuscitating tribal and regional violence in KwaZulu-Natal. And as progressives, we must call them into order. This country can never again afford to face the ugly head of tribalism and regionalism. South African politics, our history as a country teaches us that organizing along tribal lines and regional lines divides our country and leads to destruction. And this is what the ANC has always stood against, comrades and colleagues. The ANC fought against an attempt by draconian colonial rules to divide Africans amongst their tribal lines, to divide Africans among their regional lines, and to seek to unite all Africans under the banner and the vision of the African National Congress for the total liberation of our people. And any attempt now in the democratic dispensation by a party called MK Party, we've been seeing, these mushrooming parties, but they've not really organized like the MK Party is doing in terms of trying to create regional and tribal lines in terms of its mobilization. And it's a very dangerous phenomenon, and that we must all call an order to. Till today, there are families who are still feeling the pain of having had lost loved ones on the wars that ensued in communities fueled by tribal fundamentalist and black violence. The youth on this country must stand opposed to any form of mobilization that resembles the ugly head of the past, which is the divide and rule that apartheid would have wanted to sow in the African communities and in our communities as a whole in the country. So we view people like President Zuma to be, some neo-apartheid, agents. Because if you divide the African people on the basis of the tribal and regional lines, you are, in fact, bringing a form of a new apartheid, divide and so that you can be able to rule. And that divide and rule strategy, we're calling for young people to reject it, particularly as it relates to tribal line. It should be on policy and other political issues that we differ with other political parties. As we make our choices on where to stand on this, we cannot avoid the blatant stealing of the intellectual property of the ANC through the so-called leaders of the MK Party, stealing the name of Umkhonto Wesizwe, as well as the emblem of Umkhonto Wesizwe, a heritage of our people. This was just a reminder of how crooked their leaders were when they were stealing the ANC. Corruption was at the worst in the country. It comes as no surprise that the formation of the party is mirrored by theft. When a person is used into stealing, he even steals a heritage of the ANC because he is used into stealing. When he is called out for stealing, he now wants to steal the property of the ANC. And you know who that character is. And we're calling for that character to stop from this particular act.
News that matter. News that spark conversation.